Okay, and we're back. Oh, the default of that needs to be creative. Okay. Anyway, I'm hoping that will just save that as the default, and then I can export it later. Save and quit, and we're going to start a new one. I will get the lesson plan up for you. There you go. So I'm writing this lesson across years 5 to 10 in Victoria here, with links to what's going on. But essentially, students, I've run this before in one of my classes in year 8. Students spend 20 minutes with no fear of losing their items upon death, just running around collecting stuff and doing whatever they want to collect stuff, in survival mode, of course. At the end of that 20 minutes, I want a place for them to store all of the stuff that they got, and then they go and do it again, only this time the keep inventory game rule will be switched off, so they have the danger of losing their items. And then we're going to compare and contrast those two data sets. So get students to have a look at the data sets and see if there's any difference. If there isn't, why isn't there? If there is, why is there? And then we can start using this data to do multiple things across multiple areas, is what the plan is. So what I need to do is set up the Start Session 1 button. Alright, set time to dawn, turn each student survival, clear their inventory, game rule keep inventory to true, difficulty to normal, and then spread them out a bit. So there is a spread players command in this version that I didn't know was there. And then 20 minutes, and at the end of 20 minutes, teacher presses the button to stop them being able to collect things, which I'm pretty sure the do tile drops is available in this version. I haven't actually looked at it yet. And then they're going to empty their inventories into the chests, and then the second 20 minutes starts. So there's another button, Start Session 2. Everything else happens the same except for keep inventory. End of 20 minutes, we come back, So this teacher control area I'm going to build in this one is going to be a bit more intense. And before we go too much further, I'm just going to note down this so that I don't 26. That's my writing again. Yeah, 264 224 1452. So that can go there. Where were we? Yeah. So this is the lesson we're going to create. We're going to create a platform for up to 30 people to store their 20 minutes worth of inventory. And then we're going to do that twice so that they can come back to it. So each student's going to have 2 double chests, one for activity 1, one for activity 2. Sound fair? Right. Ooh, wrong button. Get rid of you. Bring Minecraft back. Create new. I need to explore these templates. And the other thing I was thinking earlier is it'd be good if we could have a better way of organising our worlds, because I was looking before and I've lost the most recent version of Animal Cell. As I said, I don't know whether that's Microsoft fault or mine with the update, but I've lost my most recent version of this map here, which is really disappointing. But I know what all these worlds are, and some of them aren't needed anymore, and I sometimes go through and delete them, but it'd be good if there was, complete. If there was a way I could have this under a folder as complete, it's done now, it's ready to export, or it's been exported, or whatever, so that it's still an active world that I can go into, but it's under a folder that tells me that it's not. Do you know what I mean? Or even if it was subject areas, so humanities, science, challenges, that sort of thing. Anyway, we're creating a new one. We're creating a new world, and it's just a straight out normal world, but default is, let's go creative first, and let's leave it on peaceful for now. I want show coordinates. No, I don't want. I wonder how that. Excuse me. I wonder how that interferes or plays with the do daylight cycle game rule. Allow mobs. We don't want perfect weather. Allow destructive items. Player damage will happen. Player versus player damage will not. And we should call this mining for data. Create. Okay. So first things first, is this a good spot to start? It's actually not all that bad. The students are going to have to work to get their first bit of wood and all that sort of stuff. So we might be better off, if we're going to spread the players out though, how does the spread players command work in here? So it teleports entities to random players. So spread players. Okay. Or do we want them all to start in the one place and argue about what they're collecting? Either really works. But I think we actually want to set the world spawn over here somewhere. See, there's that slow movement again. Until I press spacebar, I'm going ridiculous slow, even though I sprinted. You saw the yes, it's weird. I don't get it. Right, so let's say this is the spawn location. Okay. First thing I want is I don't want students to be able to run away. Right? Because I want to be able to explain what's going on. So when students come into the world, I want them limited, restrained. All of these words sound terrible and aren't exactly what I intend, but are pretty close to what I want. It's the wrong words, but the right meaning, if that makes sense. Right, so in the center here, we're going to set world spawn. Right, so students will come into there. Once the teacher's explained what's going on, they're going to be able to press a button that will clear that, basically. Clear that, make it air and allow them to run. And then students can go off and do whatever they want. What I also need is a place for students to store their... and that's going to be high. You know, the teacher control panel and the student data collection area, for lack of a better way of saying it. I think up here somewhere is a good spot. So set block tilde 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 stone, just so I've got something to start with. Right, so now I've got a block to work from. Okay, so there are two things I want here, and I'll just build it out of stone for a bit. I want the ability for students to store their data here, which is going to take a little bit of thought as to how we're going to do that, and I want the teacher control panel here. So for the teacher control, let's start with the teacher control panel, and we'll go from there. My worry is this is going to be blocking the light down here. but it doesn't appear to be making monsters spawn. Zombie. A monster's not on. Okay. Settings. Allow mobs. Duh. Yeah. So they're not going to burn there. He can't get out either. Really should be a one-hit kill in creative. So that's my dilemma, is I want a location that's not going to interfere, but I also want it to be relatively close. But this is going to interfere because it's going to block the light. I can't have it here. So that raises the question, where can I have it? You know, where is a good location? I don't want it in the ground because students could dig across it, and I don't want to interfere with the environment below. So am I better off just putting it somewhere that's not directly above where the students are spawning? I has idea. If I did it right, monsters don't spawn. Fishy. Monsters don't spawn in the river or in water. So in theory, if I come up here, I could build a bit of an area. Alright, up here, that would mean that would happen. Game rule. There's keep inventory. Do entity drops. Ooh, is that the same? Do tile drops is there? Okay, so maybe I'll need to do both of them if there's monsters. Do daylight cycle. False, not flays. False. Right, so that way. So yeah, because monsters don't spawn in water. So in theory, I have a fair bit of space up here above the river, whereby my dishwasher's done, whereby I could not interfere with the setup below, but also provide at least a teacher control panel here. Alright. So give NP command block. Okay. Because there's going to be quite a few commands, probably not that many, to start the actual activity. Alright, I want to make sure that I have enough command blocks to do it, and I want to also make sure it's in the middle. So, to start activity 1, do we want to teleport them around? Do we want to just leave them where they are and let them at it? There are a couple of things we want to do. Actually, I need my notes. Come here, notes. Dawn. Okay, so I'm going to take some quick notes here. Time set. Game mode. M equals 5. Survival. Clear at A. M equals 5. So I'm trying to avoid doing anything to the teacher. Game rule we'll do daylight, and game rule, keep inventory. So this is, and I probably want to do game rule, do tile drops and do entity drops. Game rule, do tile drops. Game rule, do entity drops. So let's start 1. So that's true. They're all true. Okay. So I was just thinking while I was writing all of that down, NPCs can do multiple commands at a time. So what if instead of a stack of command blocks, we had this guy teacher support, right? And he had a button that said start activity 1, and he had all the commands in there. Now, because the teacher would have to not have world builder, that's why. Great idea, but somewhat problematic for the teacher. It's easy for them to just go click and it does all of that stuff. So that's start activity 1. We want alright, so start round 1. We then want, so let's say that's the center. We want, I forgot that. Stop round 1. And we want that one's shorter. Start round 2 and stop round 2. All right, that makes sense, doesn't it? Let's just get rid of some footprint here. How's that? Right, so they're the really start round, start. So start round 1. Stop round 2, start round 2, stop round 1. So we start this way. We click that button. That starts round 2, sound run, stop, start, stop. There's nothing else that we need to do. That also needs to remove border blocks for starting number 1. Do we want them for number 2? No, because they're just all going to get teleported somewhere, inventory cleared, and they're just going to go. And that somewhere needs to be somewhere different. Different but same. Doesn't it? So if down there is area 1. Alright, there's another planes area over here. That we could, in theory, also use for area 2. Do we want them in the same area? We want them in a similar-ish area, I guess. So round 2, yet another post-it note. Round 2 at 218, right neater this time, 64 negative 220. Right. So let's just put a pillar here. Alright, because the likelihood of students choosing to travel that distance, oh look, it might happen, but it's not going to be all of them. So what I'm thinking, or do I limit them to a 200 by 200 area centered on this location here? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the best option? What's the goal here? The goal here is to collect data. It doesn't matter if they run off and go wherever they want. No, as long as they're collecting data, as long as they're collecting resources along the way. So it doesn't matter. I don't think it does. I think we'll be fine. So we've got, I did set world spawn, didn't I? So if we're starting there, then they can just do whatever they do in this area, and then we'll start over there and they can do whatever they do in that area. And then somewhere I need to have that area whereby the students are storing their data. Now I have this sort of picture in my head about what that might look like, but let's get the logistics happening first. And before I do that, I need to know remove border blocks from negative 71, 70, 75 to here, negative 85, 70, 62, and that will be set to air. So what I want to do as a temporary measure is, because I think you should probably be 71, not 70, so let's do 71 on that just to make sure. And this is, oh, feel the, no, I don't know what that was. So if we then go fill negative 71, 71, 75 to negative 85, 71, 62, air. Air 0 replace. Negative 71 doesn't need to be 70. Yes, okay. So it was 70. Right, so the reason I left these here was so that I knew where they were. Because we are going to do some testing It'd be good to know. Good to keep a record at least until all the testing is done, what the go is. Okay, so back up to you now that I've got the coordinates all sorted. That's the last thing we do. Okay, start round one. First thing we're going to do, teleport all players to spawn. That way if they're up in the sky they won't die. No, they're going to be in survival anyway, it won't matter. Okay, so time set dawn. Is that one? Slash time set dawn? No. Morning? Sunrise. Do monsters spawn at sunrise? Difficulty's normal. So there's that. So you see the field of view change, but you don't go any faster. Alright, it doesn't look like baddies will spawn at sunrise. So sunrise will work. I'll keep an eye on it. Up. It's not dawn. Sunrise. Alright. Time set sunrise. We're going to just ensure that game mode at a RM equals 5 S. Game mode S at a RM equals 5. Right, so that's working. Game mode C. Okay, but you are supposed to be a chain, and always. Alright, you are a game rule, do daylight, and I'm better off doing this here, slash game rule, do daylight cycle true. Chain always active. Right, so daylight cycle is now working. After that, we do game rule keep inventory true. Chain always active. Alright, and then we're doing a rule do tile drops true. And what I'm trying to do here is make this as bulletproof as I can. So game rule do tile drops. No, I did do tile drops. We want to do entity drops. true. That's tile drops, isn't it? Yeah. So this is entity drops. Chain always active. Alright. Then we come up to here and we go paste you. So let's just go through. Time set. Game mode, everyone except the teacher. We probably could make that a bit bigger because they're not going to be up here. Turn the daylight cycle on. Turn on keep inventory. Turn on tile drops. Turn on entity drops. And remove the border blocks. I didn't clear their inventory. I missed clear. So what are you? You're removed, so I want a copy of you. Right, and you're going to be clear at a RM equals 10. And you're going to be a chain always active. Right. Okay, so that removed those blocks. Set the daylight cycle to dawn. Started all of that happening. Right, and cleared, if people were out of the way, cleared their inventory. That should say no targets, same as that one, no targets, right. Okay, so then if we're stopping round one, there are a couple of things we want to do. First thing we want to do is stop tile drops. So that's the start. That's round 2, so let's put that there. To stop either round, so the stopping of either round is pretty much the same. First thing we want to do tile drops, false, do entity drops, false. Time set midday. Do daylight. False. TP to storage. Right. That works, doesn't it? So to stop a round, we turn off blocks dropping stuff, we turn off mobs dropping stuff, we set the time to midday, we set the time to not move, and we teleport them to storage, wherever that may be. That makes sense, doesn't it? I can't think of anything else we need to do when we're stopping that. Okay. Okay. So, first thing we do is game rule do tile drops false. Game rule do entity drops. Dang it. Right. Time set midday is a thing, isn't it? /time set no, it's not noon. Noon. Showing localization of languages there. This should be a chain always active. This should be a chain always active. Game rule do daylight cycle false. Chain always. And then you're a /TP at a m equals 10 to xy z of storage location, and you'll be a chain and always active. Right? So to start round 2, it's pretty much the same as starting round 1. We're going to time set, we're going to game mode 2, we're going to do daylight, we're going to do keep inventory, we're going to do all of these things exactly as they are, except this one is going to be a TP them all to that other location. So in order to make life easier, would it actually be easier? As ridiculous as this sounds. Wrong one, I need you. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll take 8. Where'd the button go? Did I not put a button on it? So we go 1, 2, 2, and this one changes from that to /TP at a m equals 10 to 21864 negative 220. Right? And then stopping round 2 is exactly, did I clear? Yeah, I did clear in there. It's the second one, clear, yeah. Right, so then if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, and that teleport location will be a slightly different XYZ, right? And you need to say stop round 2. Okay. So I think now what's left to do are kids likely to try and get up here, you reckon? I've had it happen in the past. I can't border block it, but I could build disallow so that they can't actually get up and over it and then put walls up. I've done that in the past, so I could, instead of the stone blocks, have build disallow blocks. And then signs. So the next thing we need to worry about is where students are storing their data. So do I want that I want it accessible, and it might add more commands to the top of those, particularly the round 2 one. So where is the best place for students to store their data? That's not a rhetorical question. It's a where am I going to build it? I need an ocean. That's what I need. Where is there an ocean? It's a decent body of water there. There is an ocean out here. Excellent. So this should be a big enough body of water for me to build what I have in my head in terms of student data storage, I guess is the best way to say it. So if we land somewhere here, /set block stone for now, that'll do that. Give me something to work from, get rid of all of those. Alright, so in my head I have almost like stadium seating in there, almost. So 2 sides, one for data 1, one for data 2. So now I'm flying really slow again, because you used to be able to outrun. So if I start flying and I press control, right, so now what happens, it's like it gets stuck in some way thinking that, see there it is again, see I'm not flying fast anymore. That's weird, it's very weird. So yeah, so students come in here and then we turn this way for round 1 and turn this way for round 2 is sort of what's in my head. Now remember we've got 30 students, each student's got 27, 36 inventory slots, don't they? 27, 36 inventory slots, 40, possibly 41 inventory slots. So is a single double chest enough? Because a single chest is 27. So that should be enough to store, yes, because that's their inventory, and then that's the extra stuff. Ooh. So each student needs a double chest, basically. So we just have a corridor. Something like this, and again I'll pretty this all up if I really feel like it later, but basically probably needs to be a couple more width on that so that I can actually place what I want to do next. So student 1, student 2, what? Have I just broken Minecraft? Since when can chests be placed next to each other now? So we realistically need 15 per side. That's 5. That's 6. Alright, and then right. So do we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I could also is it worth making it almost like a room so that as soon as a student steps over, let's say as soon as a student steps on this, they're stuck here and no one else can get in. Because I can do that. So as soon as I step over that, it blocks off anyone else from coming in. I did this in the right, but that also triggers a command block, which is underneath it. Right, that fills this. Right, that then fills this space with stone. So once they're in, they can't get out, which is fine because we only want them dumping their inventory anyway. So is that worth pursuing? Preventing because that way they just go until they find a vacant room. We do it much simpler than that. Oh. Do we do it like this? Right, problem being, if two students walk in at the same time, they can't get out. That's my dilemma. Again, if we're looking at making these accessible to teachers, do we trust that students are sitting there, this is my chest, and put stuff in? What stops students pilfering items, I guess, from other students? Maybe not like that. You know, what stops students? Am I just being overly cautious and silly? put them in jail. You know, so they just come in here, they do their thing once everyone's done. Because what I could do, I mean, we could get fancy in a way, I guess, and actually store those items. Is it directional now? So they'll join if you do that, but not if you do that. Sorry. So if you put them side by side, they'll join. If you put them not side by side, they won't join. So it's very much directional. That is so not, it's not Minecraft. It's just not fair. Because what I could do is I could hopper the items out and store them somewhere else and then clone them later so the students have them side by side. So instead of having to come down here and find, but they're taking their data out. There's no value in that. They're taking their data out in the end anyway. They're taking their data out and putting it elsewhere. So if that's 6, that's 12. Five groups of this. If we had these up here, so they can come along without World Builder and edit that. Right, so they can have their name on it. That'll work. So if we went, how many more deep do we really want to go? What if we just duplicated this? So forget about mirroring. For a second. There's that slow movement speed again. Forget about mirroring. Now it's fast because I've flown again. No. So if we just had a corridor 6 long, forget about you. right? So they just came in here, found one of these, put their stuff in it, and away you go. And if we had 6 of them, so if we cloned that, this is where I really want. $290, $207, -487. Get in there. So if we're there and we're going to 302, 203, 492. This is where it gets messy. I think I've decided before that you want to rewrite this from smallest to largest. So you're really going from 290, 203, -492 to 302, 207, -487. And then that will go from the smallest side, which realistically would be this corner here, right? So if we then brought that out here and said, I want this, no, I need to be 1 block, 2 blocks further out. I need to be 203, -494. Right, because that marks where I want to be, because I want those chests. So those chests can be this wall, so that needs to be cloned to here. Here we go. So I want to clone from 290, 203, -494 to 302, 207, -487, and I want to do it to where I am now. Replace force. Right, and that's the frustrating thing. There is no undo. So I actually needed to be 1 block lower down. So I needed to be standing here, right? So all of this needs to be pulled down and built again. And you'll notice, actually I don't mind the chest being that height. You'll notice that it overwrote itself, which means it's building out. Right. So that made that 3 high, which is fine. So if I stand here again and do it, nothing changes. Okay, so what I need to do, if that's my wall, then what I need to do is theoretically be standing there and do it again. But that destroyed my wall. It's where I want it to be, right? This is why. That's why I hate these commands as build options. So if I stand here and I do that again, I fall straight through. However, I can get out from underneath this stuff. I now have 2 copies, right? So again, if I stand here, which I think is where the wall should be, we should have 2 then wall, 2 then wall, right? And do that again. I fall through. And I now have 18. Right. So if we bring you out to here, we're still well and truly over the center of the ocean, which is great. Or center of the lake, whatever it is down there. Right. So normally I would stand here. I want to stop going this way and I want to go the other way. So if I would normally stand here, I would normally stand here. Alright, then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 before I stand again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in theory, I stand here. Alright, that's 4 of them. And then I would go one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And stand there. Whew, that wasn't stressful or tense at all. Right, so that's the basics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 6. Okay, so that's the basics of one side. Okay, so that's round 1, let's say. Okay. As I say, sketching in stone is not a drama because I'll just replace it later. Okay, so if that's round 1, okay. All right, I'll deal with all of that later. So that's round 1. What I want is for students to be teleported here. So for round 1 storage, TP to 288, 205. I'm going to go 1 higher, negative 488. I probably don't need to. Let's just go 204. Right. And that way they can just find a spot to store their items. What I then want to do is mirror this, which I cannot do except manually. Mirror this over here and then teleport students to this side of the wall, right? And then basically hit one more button to open up this wall so that students can go and have a look at session 1 and session 2. Now, it doesn't have to be mirrored. The reason I want it mirrored is silly. There's no need for it to be mirrored. Why is there no need for it to be mirrored? Sorry, my brain is going here, and you can't see it because I haven't got my webcam on today. See, it thinks I'm walking. Look. So if I hit control now, I sprint. So it thinks I'm walking until I say, no, I'm flying, come on, wake up. That's what's happening, but I don't know why that's happening. I don't know if that's a Bedrock issue or a Minecraft EE issue. Is it still called Bedrock? Windows 10? What's it called now? See, it thinks I'm walking again now, so it'll go slow. So if I just replicate this over here, or if I just clone that whole thing, so it was cloning from this corner to that corner. So if I want to clone this section here over to there, then I need to measure things out and try and write the coordinates in exactly the same way. And then I can put this out there wherever it goes. So if we just bring this out here, right, it'll actually be one block lower than that when I clone it. So I should have probably done that one block lower. So basically what I want is this wall here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to be this wall here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Do I stand at 13 or after 13? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I stand at 13. So I'm standing here to clone that. Okay, and we are cloning from yet another post-it note 290, 208, negative 508. Oop, that's a 2. Don't write 2, you will break everything. Over 2. (302), 203, negative 473. So I need to write that in exactly the same way I did last time, which was 290, 203, negative 473, to 302, 208, negative 508 there to negative 473 there. Sorry, whacked my microphone while itching chin. So this is where, if I was smart, I would do an export of this world and make sure that I had it backed up and ready to go. But we are going to just do it live on camera -508 to 302.208 force -473 to tilde replace force. And now we found out how well we did. Not too shabby. So what I do now is I come in and I fill up these. Like so. And just for my own sense of what is right and wrong in the world, we shall do that. And right. So part of that starting round 2 might be to seal up this wall and break down portions of this wall, because realistically that's where it needs to be broken. So, or do we cheat? I think we cheat. I think we cheat. I think we have this. I think this is a good way to cheat. Right? But down the middle, come on. Now that I'm starting to get why it's doing it, I think I can work out how to stop it doing it all the time. Anyway, so that's fine. So now what I want is I want the double size. So what are they, posters? Oh, and did the cloning of, no, of course it didn't. But I bet you they're there. No, they're not there now. That's interesting. Yeah, that's the side. Interesting. So if we put this here, A1 to A6, B1 to B6, C1, I wish they would auto edit, C1 to C6. If I'm putting it down, I want to edit it. D1 to D6. And E1 to E6. Right, and then here we do the same, E1 to E6, D1 to D1 to D6, C1 to C6, B1 to B6, A1 to A6. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to make sure that my teleporting coordinates 288, 204, -4, 88, let's change that to 489. Alright, and round 2 storage is going to be teleported to here, 286, .488, round 2. Right, now I go through and we say, this is A, isn't it? A1, name, write your name here. A2. A3. A5. A6. All right. Change that to B1 and recopy it. I wonder if I can do it from, if I hit home, that makes it easier. So many button presses to remember now. I think that's going to be easier long term. Oh, not C3, C4. So what I might suggest is the teacher give each student alphanumerical code that aligns with this system, and they have to find theirs. D1, and they have to find their, just to avoid arguments, not arguments, but make it easier for them to find. So there needs to be a way for the students to be able to find their information easily, otherwise we waste too much time messing about. I wonder if I can control click these. C4, yeah. I can. No. Dang it. I can control click. I did control click, didn't I? Control middle click, did I? Let's get rid of you. Control middle click gets me that, but it doesn't keep its text. So that's a different slate to this one. It won't actually, yeah, see, it's got data, but it doesn't show it. So that comes back to, yeah, interesting. Interesting. Because they don't clone. Generally speaking, they don't clone. And the reason for that is unknown to me, but they don't clone. So now comes the question, do I go A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so that they all have to walk equidistant to get to their items? Or do I go from inside out again? Tempted to go this way. This might be an easier way of doing it. Less editing. Less editing if you do it right. Copy that. Like this. Nope. Nope. Gotta press the right buttons on your keyboard. I don't know if this is quicker or not. Does it matter? It's getting done. Someone's tweetering me. A couple of people. Last row. And we're done. So now I also need to take note of clear wall coordinates 287, 208, negative 503 through to 287, 204, negative 474. right? It's not what I had in mind, but it's close. I had angles and steps and all sorts of stuff, but this is only for storing data. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be functional. Now, if I'm here, I can't see. No, there's no way for me to get into anyone else's chest. So we trust that students are going to do the right thing, which is nice. And then from there, so where's my stone pillar? We could see it off in the distance there. So we're fairly local to where we have been. So let's go do that. So I can get rid of this because we have that set up already. Let's head back off to our starting location. Add those coordinates into our teleporters. Nearly overshot. Start round 1, stop round 1. So you are teleporting all students to 288, 204, negative 489. And you are teleporting, let's just confirm your stop round 2. You're teleporting all students to 286, 204, negative 488. Right. And then we need one final button. Alright, access to data, and that is /fill 287208 negative 503 to 287204 negative 474 with air 0 replace. Okay, so now we need to write all this into the lesson plan. Realistically, so that's an hour, and we are pretty much right. The only thing I think I do want to replace all of these with build deny blocks. Because what it means is that students, even if they choose to build up here, which I don't think they will, if I'm being honest, I really don't think they will, but it will stop them from doing so anyway. Now we're starting to get some lag. I wonder. Yes, it's not doing that. Because the other things I could do is I could do like a title. You know, which wouldn't be too bad of an idea, actually, all things considered. Would it? I feel like that's a good addition. It gives the students the knowledge of what's going on, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, rather than the teacher having to say, okay, go now. Okay, do I want to do it? I think I do. All right. Another one will go there. Do not repeat. Right. Do I need to stop? It's pretty obvious when it stops because it all just happens. Just to cap them in so that students can't. I don't know whether I need to do this or not. I really don't. But if a student manages to get up here, they can walk. They can walk in here anyway, you idiot. That's like that map I made, the one for introing comfortable players to the EE specific stuff. Oh, such an idiot. I spent all this time putting border blocks and everything around the area where they were building NPCs. But to build NPCs you need a world builder. And then all of that stuff I built becomes completely moot. So teacher control. For mining data is -14,266, and that'll need to go into there. No! Where's the undo button? It's okay, it's here. Haha! Why won't you? Oh, because I'm hitting function. Alright. This is game mode 2. Game mode 2. Two or S? So it's adventure. No. Why are you game mode 2? Alright, that's fine. Why was it game mode 2? Might be nice for the teacher to be able to see out, I thought. The other thing I want to do is I did this in one of the other, in the Getting Comfy with EE Stuff map, was give teachers the opportunity to join in if they wanted. So here at start round 1, if I put another command block here that said join in, you know, and then they've got to come here, take me, and then join in again here. And here, I think that's teleport everyone. I don't think the teacher needs to be here anymore. No, because they need to be able to hit that button. So you'll start round 1, I want to join in, stop round 1, take me there to dump data, start round 2, I want to do it. Do you need to be there? I think. Right. So start round 1. Join in. Take me to. Join in 2. Take me to. Join in round 1. Take me to. Join in round 2. Take me to. I know, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to put signs or whatever on them all anyway. Yeah, okay. So this here doesn't activate that. That's good. Needs to leave that, change them to survival. Change them to survival. That stays, that stays, stays, that stays. Clear their inventory. Alright. And then instead of that, it's got to teleport them somewhere there. Probably just copied that. TP at AR equals 10 to that location. Alright, so that's take me to, hang on, no, you should say join in round 1. Because that's start round 1, join in round 1, stop round 1. You should say or should we not bother with the teacher data, teacher having their data over there? Yeah, what if the teacher's data was here? What if teacher data was there? Stop round 1. Put you there. Clear our inventory. Grab you. You. You as well. Knock you off. Alright, join in around 2. Clear your inventory and teleport you somewhere else. Nope. There. It removes them from the class in some respects, but also makes it a heck of a lot easier. Now, who was tweetering me? Okay. So if we get posters, no slates, and this is button loader start round 1. Right. No. No. Right. So let's just start round 2. To start round 2 of collection. Now, did I change? I didn't. Better change you to not Flays. I always do that to false. Right, for round 2. So let's press button to join in collecting data. You joined in, place your stuff round 2 in this chest. Stuff from round 1 in this chest. You aren't big enough. Do I want a board or a poster? Let's try a poster. Can't center it. Grr. What's the right word? I don't want to give them a mistaken impression. They can press a button and get the data out. Access both sets of data so that they can put it out of game. Alright. How much simpler can I make it? I'm not sure there's anything else I can do to make this easier. I think this is as easy as it's going to get. I need to go back down here and rebuild. This stuff. All right. Or do I want to start the teacher up in there? Because in theory, whoever loads the world is designated teacher. So am I better off starting the teacher up here? Already in the teacher control room? Probably. Okay, so that's 2 maps done. Ugh. And we've only taken 3.5 hours to do it. What else is on my plan of maps to do today? Will that stay up for you? Sorry, just trying to find the right thing now. It'll be here. Here. So I need to tweak the lesson plan. I've done those 2. That took that long, just editing my work plans. Alright, I think we might take a break and then I might come back and do some energy transfer stuff, see where we're at with that, see if I can remember. So, if anyone is still watching, hey, come back. Go take a break, get something to eat and or drink, and I will be back shortly. There we go, that's what I want. Trying to set up everything again. It's a problem with only having 2 screens. I need 4. Not really. I couldn't fit 4 on my desk if I wanted to. But I will leave you with the lovely strains of Minecraft and I'll be back soon.